guys, what's up? I'm Mary Richardson, Rapid Transformational Therapy Practitioner. I help people get through the things that are keeping them stuck. High anxiety is a perfect thing that keeps people stuck repeating the same patterns and not moving forward when they really want to. This video is for you if you are finding yourself asking the question. I'm going to answer the question, how can you manage through high anxiety and fear during the big life changes? So maybe you're going through a change. Maybe you have high anxiety at the thought of buying a house and all the paperwork. It feels so overwhelming. It feels monumental, right? All of the paperwork, all of the due diligence you have to do in buying a home. Even just thinking about moving can cause its own anxiety, right? So not just buying a home and the paperwork, but the moving. And what about other life changes? Maybe getting married, maybe getting divorced, maybe moving on from a narcissistic relationship or a toxic relationship. You can even experience high anxiety from major life changes like having a baby. You know, just being pregnant and thinking about all of the what ifs. What if when they're a teenager this happens? How would I handle it? And that's how our mind works. We really think, well, wait a minute, I haven't even had the baby yet and I'm already worried about the teenage years. Here's what happens. The mind presents the worst case scenarios, right? Well, what if I move, this happens? What if I go through with this divorce that, this could happen or that could happen? What you have to do is really just get control of your thoughts. If you think about it, it's really one of the only things we have control of is what we think. And our thoughts control our actions. So you have two choices. You can think positive things or you can think negative things, right? And yes, we have to plan for different scenarios. In other words, if you're planning on moving, yes, of course you have to make plans to how will you move, how will your things get moved, will it be a safe neighborhood? Yes, there's lots of things you have to do, but you can also stay really positive in the process, knowing that you'll be guided to the right place, the right neighborhood, that the right people will come forth to help you, and that you'll find the right people to hire to help you if that's what you're doing. Even through a divorce, you might think, well, what if, this attorney doesn't do it the right way, or what if the right people don't show up? Well, then you can make a change at that time. But how could you possibly know in the moment whether, what the outcome will be, whether this person, this attorney that might help you with the divorce is going to be able to do really well? At some point, you're going to have to think positively and say, let's move forward. Because the alternative is to think negative. And we know, here's what happens in the brain. What you think about becomes bigger, all right? So that's why everybody's saying, think positive, think great thoughts, get control of your thoughts. Yes, you can control your thoughts. Nobody is making you think negative thoughts but you. Yes, anxiety will always present you with a negative thought, but you can imagine in your mind you have a delete button, delete. What if this happens on the move? Delete. What if, all these negative things happen? Delete, delete. Just keep deleting those negative thoughts. That's how one way that you can start getting control of your thoughts. And when you get control of your thoughts, you'll start finding that if the negative thoughts are gone, well, then the positive thoughts are left. So, well, what if I move and everything goes great? What if, all my stuff is delivered just perfectly? What if the divorce goes through and there's an agreement on who gets what and it goes through seamlessly or with very few bumps in the road? And at some point you do have to rely on something greater than ourselves, a higher power, to take that burden off your shoulders, right? So can you manage through high anxiety and fear during major life changes? Well, you take it one step at a time. If you're maybe buying a house and you're thinking about all the paperwork, all right, what paperwork do you need to get together today? Okay, maybe it's a lot of things. We'll just do it one document at a time. Okay, what's up? Make a list. What is, yeah, obviously, right? You know how to get organized, but that's the thing. Mental discipline is the one thing that can help you go so much further than letting your mind get carried away with these negative thoughts, because that will increase the anxiety, right? So handle it one document at a time, one day at a time, one phone call at a time. No matter what life change you're going through, whether you're pregnant and of course we all, want to have healthy babies. Of course we're going to hope for the best. Of course we're going to believe for good things and health and that has a lot of power just doing that. So I encourage you to get control of your mind, because that's really the only thing we can control. To have the mental discipline to start deleting those negative thoughts as they come up, right? Anxiety is a symptom. So the short term, I've given you some short term things you can do. Long term is to get to the root cause, the core of the anxiety. And untangle it is one of my favorite words to use in this situation. You untangle it, if you can imagine untangling the root cause of that anxiety, all those beliefs that are tied up, that I have to be anxious if there's a life change, I have to let it overtake my life. No, you don't. So we get to the root cause, and you can imagine letting it go, being able to let it go, because you realize it's really not serving you. So one of the things as you get to the root cause of the anxiety is to realize what it was doing for you. What is your anxiety, your strong anxiety, doing for you? Is it a way that you've learned as a coping mechanism to stay stuck because that feels safer? And does that still serve you? Does staying stuck and not moving forward, is that really what you want? Or do you want to feel uncomfortable as you move forward? Because the uncomfortableness, anytime we make a change, of course we're going to feel uncomfortable, right? Of course we're going to have to deal with some stuff. Of course there will be unexpected things we could have never thought of. That's just life, right? You have to be willing to be uncomfortable as you move forward. If you find that your mind is just racing and you can't get a hold of it, well, the idea is to find someone, a professional, that can help you better manage what you're going through. So maybe you have racing thoughts, maybe you have sleepless nights, maybe you have insomnia and you've had it forever and you're so tired of it. Well, now is the time to get to the root cause of that symptom, because the sleepless nights, the anxiety, they're all symptoms of something else. So I hope this finds you well, and this video is all about how you can change and move through anxiety and fear during big life changes. So one day at a time, one document at a time, one step at a time, and that is a way too that you can start enjoying the journey, because there's no way any of us know what's going to happen every day, right? We can only gain confidence that we're able to handle it as it comes up, and it's going to be the way it's going to be. We'll do everything on our part, and at the end of the day, that's all we can do, right? So start having more confidence, have the mental discipline to control those negative thoughts, let those go, and focus on the positive thoughts. Create your own positive thoughts. Create, I'm going to go through this day and do the very best I can. I'm going to get everything I need to move through this change, or whatever it is for you that you're struggling with, and do it with a smile on your face. Just smiling actually has been proven to make you even feel better. So if you're suffering with depression as well, that's one thing you can do. And then in the long term is to reach out to someone that is able to help you on a professional level to get where you want to go, because nobody wants to be stuck, and it's the uncomfortableness of the future that keeps people stuck. People think, well, the future is just must be perfect for everybody else. No, it's not. They just know, people who aren't stuck, they just know how to better deal with the uncomfortableness of change. So think about that. And when you get really good at that skill, you'll find you become one of those people that's very good at powering through the change of whatever you're experiencing. So I hope this finds you well. I'm Mary Kay Richardson, rapid transformational therapy practitioner. I help people move through high anxiety where it's kept them stuck to be where you want to be, so you start achieving your goals and even getting some sleep. I'll see you in the next video. Bye for right now.